Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Drunk Pear podcast, where every week we tell your customer stories that you submit to us, as well as some of our own. I'm Megan.
And I'm Annie.
And we miss you. We're both going through a lot of life shit right now, so we sincerely apologize for being too fucking behind. But don't worry, we're gonna record and get caught up, as well as I'm gonna push out edits as quickly as I humanly possibly can, because those two were just sitting for too long.
There was a lot to edit out.
What you guys may not know, which if you're friends with us in real person, if you're friends with us in real person, you will know how much we probably ramble and talk about shit and get off topic. That's literally this entire podcast. I have to edit out a bunch of it, 'cause it's yeah, I could include it, and I have included some of it, but there's also some that I'm alright, we're rambling too much, we're talking too much, this episode's too long. The episode that I'm editing right now, I think it originated at 2 hours, and I've got it down so far to an hour 20, which I'm cool with episodes being hour and a half tops, but come on. So,
I know. What longer than that is holy shit. But you get lost if you're just cleaning the house. Sometimes I'll put on a podcast and then I'm house is still not over yet, but I didn't even notice it was 2 hours, and I'm oh my god, holy shit.
Yep. Okay, so I know how our episodes have been starting. The last two episodes, I started off with stories. So Annie, I'm gonna let you start it off, and I'm also editing all of these. I've realized that we cut each other off so much. It's kind of a problem. And I feel really bad, because I'm I hope Annie doesn't hate me. So
no, I feel it's awkward timing between computers, because I don't know when you're gonna start talking, and then I just say things so it's not silent, and then we both just start talking at the same time.
There was one full ass segment that we were talking at the same time for so long that A, I don't know how either of us didn't realize it, and B, I had to think, I'm okay, did I start recording too early? Did Annie start recording too early? Did I get the lines mixed up? Because when I go to edit them, I have to basically lay them on top of each other and then edit them at the exact same time. But I'm fuck, did I overlay these wrong? But then I kept editing. I'm nope, we just legit were talking for 15 seconds at the same fucking time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh god, dumb. Alright, well, I have quite an interesting one. I actually totally forgot about it until I was going through my camera roll on my phone, and I forgot that I took pictures of it through our tool. It was something that someone came back through chat, support chat, and complained about.
Oh, lovely.
Very excited.
Alright, well, throw it on us.
Alright, so backstory is I had this girl call in, and she's talking about how one of the products was giving her a rash on her wrist. And I'm
oh my god, I think you told me this story, but you have not told it on the podcast. Okay, let's go.
I haven't read the messages, so hold on, let me find those real quick. Here we go. So she calls in, and she's kind of annoying, but whatever. If you're actually having an allergic reaction, well, that sucks, but I guess do whatever the fuck you want to do. So how do I already forget how to work here? It's only been a month. What did we do? Something about the...
Oh, you're talking about the podcast? Oh, are you talking about work?
I'm talking about work.
It hasn't been a month.
It's been a while. I got let go this week, but I haven't been to work since May.
Shut up.
Literally, yeah, I was down for 2 weeks, and then that following Monday, came back, tried to take calls, didn't work. Came back Tuesday, some other shit happened, and then that whole week, I kept calling out, and then the following week was the no call, no shows, the internet not working, and then the next week I got fired. So, I think it's been 4 weeks.
Jesus.
But yeah, so I'm oh, I'm so pissed off that I didn't get my PTO or whatever.
Which I think is bullshit.
Basically, I followed the safety procedures and escalated it to the safety team. Well, they tell me I have to go to a senior advisor. So then I go to a senior advisor and they tell me I have to go to safety. So then I go to safety and I go, listen, I'm not taking this call further. Take the call over. I've already gone back and forth between 4 different tiers and levels. I'm over it. I've literally been on the phone with this girl for 45 minutes. She's just getting more and more.
Jesus.
So I just left her off with someone, and I'm like, all right, have a great day, bye. So then I tracked the case because I'm like, I really wanted to know what was happening. Yeah. I flip-flopped so many times how much more she had to go through. Well, let's see. This was at 7:30 p.m. Okay, so this was a couple hours. I get a notification through our tools.
So was this before you were a senior advisor?
Yeah. For sure, because I had to go back, or else I would have just been like, oh my god, here you go, bye. But, so I got a notification that her case had been updated, and it's a chat transcript. Okay, so the beginning is the automated message, thanks for contacting, my name is blah, how can I help you? It's pretty long. Okay, so, good afternoon. I would like to lodge a formal complaint. I spent an hour on the phone with your company and was transferred 5 times, repeating the same information again and again in regards to my ban from a product causing me an allergic reaction. The 5th person I spoke to yelled at me on the phone as I advised of my frustrations of being on the phone for an hour, transferred 5 times, just to provide the same info, and would rather just purchase a new band from Amazon that would arrive before the situation was rectified. Your employee then instigated the negativity and was combative in her response and yelled at me, which
Are they talking about you or the senior advisor?
No, oh my god, it was either a senior advisor or a safety person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I talked to her for 5 minutes, and then the rest was keeping her on hold, and she was all pissy, but, I mean, whatever, it was pretty annoying, but no, oh my god, I would die if this was a girl. I advised her that I was disconnecting the call as I would not be spoken to that way. My time wasted would exceed the cost to provide me with a new band. Please note this experience with your employee is absolutely uncalled for and unprofessional. I have attached a photo of the length of time and the call after I had already chatted with an employee on your support chat. I also have this experience recorded, to which I will be releasing to social media to show how a customer is being treated after spending hours on the phone. I'm extremely disappointed in your company and their choice of employees they hire. And then just basically the chat person was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, you're wasting my time. Please advise your supervisors that I will be contacting my lawyer and releasing the recorded conversation with your employee to social media and the news. Customers need to hear how your employees speak. I'm like, bitch, what?
I want to know exactly who they were talking about.
See, okay, so, I don't have the other information saved, but I saw in the safety, when someone called safety, whatever, their notes said that they tried to ask her information and for proof of her having an allergic reaction, and she refused, and then said she wanted to talk to a supervisor, and then said she was disconnecting. I know.
Jesus Christ.
She was dealing with the safety team, but I'm like...
But was she?
Right. And then it's just said she was being super uncooperative, wouldn't provide photo proof that she has a rash, all this shit, and I'm like...
It makes me think that it's not real then. See, I think those customers that call in, they purposefully make up shit and think that it's small enough that they can get, like, things for free, and don't think that, like, we would require proof. Because, like, if it was just the band, and she just wants, like, a free band, she'll be like, oh, it gave me a rash, give me a new one. Like, it's a small enough thing. But my question would be, let's say we didn't ask for proof, and we just gave her, like, a replacement. Like, technically, like, let's say it came with, like, a black one, and she wanted a white one, and they were out of stock when they got them, right? But she prefers a white one. When they call in, it just tells us, like, the type of watch. It doesn't tell us, like, what color the band is. So, like, she could just get the color she wants for free. So she has, like, 2 bands then.
I swear to God. Who the hell? You're having an allergic reaction to it? Really?
I mean, there are, so, like, you gotta think, we do have, like, multiple different types. So, like, I know some people are allergic to, like, silicone, or, yeah, because I have a friend who's, like, allergic to condoms. And so, it's like, let's say that there's an ingredient in the material that they are having an allergic reaction to. Why wouldn't you do your research so that you can buy one that isn't that? Or go on Amazon and buy, like, you know, or through our company, buy, like, a replacement one immediately so that you don't have to worry about that.
I know.
I think it's a free thing. They just they feel entitled. They spent, you know, X amount of dollars on this item, and they feel like they should have got more bang for their buck, and so they're going to go out of their way to be problematic.
I've heard that 1,000 times. That I just spent this much money, and you're not going to give me this for free. No, buy it like everybody else. And if you're really allergic to something, you should fucking know what you're about to put on your body then.
Exactly.
Little bitch. But for real, like, I know, like latex and silicone and nickel and all that stuff, but...
Yep. But you should have researched it first.
I think I mentioned before when someone called in and told me that they were having an allergic reaction to their headphones, and they, like, perfectly described to me what was happening, and it was fucking disgusting. And I was like, dudes, oh, please stop, and he wouldn't stop. Like, go to a doctor.
Why?
I know. He's like, the headphones are doing this to me, and your company needs to know.
Speaking of Liquid and Max, I don't remember how long ago this was, and it's actually not even on my stories because it was, like, so small and insignificant that I didn't think anything of it. I had a customer call in. She was using her Mac while she was in the tub. So I don't know whether it was for, like, Netflix, YouTube, music, whatever the case may be. But she was using it, and it fell straight on in the tub. And she calls, and she's like, so I don't have insurance, and I'm out of warranty. I'm like, well, the warranty wouldn't cover it anyway, so no worries. And she's like, but I don't want to have to pay a lot to get this replaced. I've had it plugged into the charger ever since it got in liquid. I'm like, do not have it plugged into the charger. That's electricity. So if there wasn't enough damage to begin with, there is now. Oh, you don't have it backed up. Oh, you don't have the cloud services saving your information. Like, your stuff is not retrievable, and chances are it's going to cost more to get that repaired than it's worth. And she was, like, really upset about it, and I'm just like, you dropped your computer into the fucking tub. What do you expect? Like, what the fuck?
Oh my god. Why? Put it on the side. She's like, got it on a little tray, and it just knocks right in.
I don't know. I will know, because I would think a tray would be more level, honestly, because it would be secure on both sides, and then the tray would be big enough. I would assume it was probably on the ledge, and it, like, probably just, like, that would be my guess. Yep. Yeah. I mean, she didn't tell me, and I didn't ask, because I didn't really care, but, I mean, that would be my assumption.
Yeah. She's like, thank God she didn't get electrocuted. What the hell?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, it wasn't plugged into the charger, so I don't know if it maybe didn't have, like, enough electricity to cause that. Because, like, think about it. Everyone's like, oh, plug in your hairdryer or your toaster into the wall and then drop it in the tub to kill yourself. If it wasn't plugged into the charger.
True.
So, I don't know. But she's a fucking dumbass. Any of those people are dumbass. like, the other day, actually, so I have suction cups with hooks in our shower. And it's the perfect length apart for my phone to sit perfectly. And it's far enough away that it doesn't get wet. Even though, like, the new phones are water resistant anyways. Shit you not, I went to put it in the thing and it fell. And it just sat under the fucking shower going without me in there. And then I realized it and I snatched it out, dried it off. And it was fine. Like, I didn't notice any, like, defects and nothing's wrong with it. Like, everything's functioning. But within the next couple hours, because I've been playing on my phone all morning before my shower, I'm like, oh shit, I need to charge my phone. It literally yelled at me and said, hey, your device is wet. Unplug it. And I'm like, thank you for telling me that. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on, like, how severe the water damage is before it gives you that warning or how long the moisture is, like, there. But yeah, I thought that was really cool because, like, it tells you when it's too hot. And now I guess it tells you when it's wet. And I know I've gotten the error message of when it's too cold. So, like, phones are too smart for their own good. I've noticed it gets too hot, like, especially if I go to the beach or I'm laying out. which rightfully so. It's hotter than fuck. I don't think it was this one. I think it was my last one that told me it was too cold from like being outside too long when I was living in the Midwest. So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad, because if I can like not have damage to my device and like have to do a claim on it, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's crazy. I've never seen the cold warning. I have had the hot warning though when I was playing music and had it on my dashboard because I didn't have a radio in my car.
Oh, with the sun beating on it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They're like, oh my god, we're turning this off before your phone explodes. I'm like, thank you.
If you scroll our Instagram, which everybody go follow our Instagram if you haven't already, we have like 2 kind of pictures of just the screen from us recording. Like, we don't even have any like actual pictures of us. So I'm like, well, let's get some actual pictures out. Hopefully that'll help with like engagement and shit. So, okay. So I'm going to tell this story, and I'm going to preface this with, Annie, we are pieces of shit. Us, just so you are well aware, every time we hung up on a customer, it was notated. They know that we hit the end button. They know that it was not a technical like error. They know that we disconnected. And I'll get to that part of the story, but I'm going to preface with that. So I had this customer call in, yelling and screaming until she's blue in the face. And I go, look, I'm going to need you to calm down. I said, I understand you're frustrated. Let's go through this. Long story short, what happened was she was out of warranty and didn't have coverage through us, but she had insurance through her provider. And every time she had to do an insurance claim, obviously providers charge more for the deductible than like we would. And they would never send her a like new refurbished phone. They would send her just straight up used. And yeah, and so she was overpaying and getting less quality. So I already told her, I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, obviously you're out of warranty, but going forward, you know, do our coverage, our deductibles are cheaper, everything's a little bit better, so on and so forth. But you can't have it now because you're out of warranty. So like, if you had just bought it, I'd absolutely happy to help you add that, but like, sorry, you just can't. So once she finally realized that it was Verizon's fault that she was having all these problems, she finally calmed down. The point of her calling in was she wanted to file a complaint, and I did that for her, and I explained to her everything. And basically, she had like a bunch of phones on her phone plan, and one of them being her brother, which I'm really surprised because she was like really older, and so I'm assuming her brother is also really older. But anyways, she's like, well, he's still having problems, and he just got his phone, you know, X amount of days ago, so he's still within warranty, and I want to see if we can get him with coverage through you guys, and then I'll just cancel the Verizon insurance. I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And I was already on the phone with her for half an hour, 45 minutes with her, just bitching, complaining, going on, and I was trying to, like, de-escalate the situation and try to talk to her and stuff. And, like, basically all the problems she was having were all Verizon related anyways. So, like, they weren't the device. And even if they were the device, it's probably because they were fucking used as hell devices that she was getting replacements from. And I was already past the clock. I had plans. I had shit to do. And so she's like, I'm going to 3-way call my brother. As soon as she did, I dropped the call. And I'm like, oops. I finished logging, like, the complaint, signed out. For any of our listeners who are in a call center settings, as soon as you are in between calls, it's called ACW. I don't even fucking remember what it stands for. Do you remember what it stands for?
After
what?
Call work.
There you go. So I was in ACW for 13 seconds, did not go outbound, did not report a technical issue with our system. I got talked to, and I was put on a final written warning because I did not try to call the customer back, and because no technical issues were shown, because the customer did not disconnect, and because I chose to disconnect and then immediately clocked out. So all of the times that we dropped calls, they were all reported. The only reason why I think I didn't get in trouble a majority of those was because either A, I took a call immediately after, B, I was already having technical issues that day, or C, it's because it was so early in the call that like the interaction really hadn't started. But this one was a full-fledged conversation, and then I clocked out. So all the times that we basically said, I don't fucking care, they were documented, and at the time of that conversation, I was at a 70% disconnect rate, which was a, what's it called? What did Angelica get when she didn't want to work? Call avoidance.
Oh.
It is call avoidance and job avoidance.
Well,
so
that's...
Not that we have to worry about that anymore, but
yeah,
fun
true.
fact.
But, oh, fuck, that kind of sucks. Literally the one time I hung up on someone and got caught, they told me the customer disconnected. And I went, okay, because they left a bad survey, and it was whoever my nesting was for tier 2. And she's like, but then at the end it looks like the customer disconnected the call. And I was like, but he was like, I know you disconnected, like one of my very first team leaders. So I was like, oh.
Well, they came at me sideways, and my leader did, and he was like, I know that you hung up because the customer was upset. I said, well, if you listened to the call, I actually de-escalated the customer. They were not upset by time, like, the call had dropped. I'm like, by time, like, we were no longer on the phone together, like, the customer was fine. So it had nothing to do with me hanging up on a upset customer. And he goes, if you would have at least attempted an outbound call or left notes or something, he's like, this wouldn't be happening. And I said, well, next time I'll just leave notes until I'm blue in the face, saying that, customer disconnected. Either I didn't have a callback number, they didn't answer, or at least show that I tried to outbound call. But again, not that it matters.
Right. Oh
so.
God. But also, like, oh God, I hate that they say we can't hang up on people. Why? They're assholes. They're screaming at us.
What I was really guilty of is any customers who either refused to give me their name at the beginning, or rambled, or literally the shit that they were saying, like, didn't make any sense, I would just hang up immediately. So my 70% rate might have been accurate. I mean, like, I still remember, and I'm still, like, baffled at myself. Like, when we first started, I was never late, I was never absent, I was punctual on my, like, breaks and lunches and everything else, and then it just got to be, like, so exhausting and frustrating that I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so, I mean, like I said in previous podcasts, like, that giant red button was so tempting that I'm just like, sorry, not sorry.
I was so scared all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I have a point. Oh my God, I have 3 points. And then I'd, like, get back down to 0, and then I'm, like, suddenly at 10, and there's no end in sight.
Yeah, I think at the end I was at, like, 50 or 60. I don't even remember. And I just remember, like, so many different interactions with my leader where it would be either, why are you on my team? I don't want you on my team. You're, not contributing to anything. Like, where are you? I don't want you here, to being locked out of my device. Like, all sorts of crazy stuff had happened. And I just remember one of the last conversations was, I'm really glad you're part of the team. And I'm just like, bro, like, when it's that time of month, don't get me wrong, my emotions and thoughts are all over the place, but you are a guy who is a leader, and you are way worse than I ever am on my worst days. Like, what in the actual fuck?
No, I remember you telling me, you're like, oh, I can't believe it. I finally got such a cool team lead. Like, they understand all the bullshit that we've been through. And then when you told me, he said, if you pack your work computer on the U-Haul because you're moving, you're fired. And I was like, how is that your fault?
But let's also look at, like, I accumulated so many points, most of the time not even by my own doing, because, like, just like yours, if my stuff isn't working, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, there's nothing I can do. And so I'm not going to sit around and waste my entire day for something to not work. I'm going to either call in late and hope that it works later, or just call in. Like, it's not worth my time. And so, yeah, I'm surprised it didn't happen way earlier. I mean, I'm glad it didn't, but I'm also just, like, kind of in shock. So.
I know. I still, until, like, they came and got my work stuff and, like, the headphones and the computer and everything, and until they did that, it wasn't setting in, and now I'm like,
yep,
it's over. I mean, I'm fucking relieved because my old roommate still works there, and every day she'll text me and she's like, I can't do this shit anymore, and I'm like, welcome to the club, because it got us through like COVID, and it got us not working like in a building and getting sick, but holy fuck.
It helped tremendously. Like, it's kind of sad that we're like closing this chapter, which, by the way, guys, if I keep all this in, this podcast is not nearly going anywhere. Like, we're still gonna have a million stories, and we're gonna have like guests on here. So like, even when we like need a break from telling stories ourselves, we'll have like guests on here. Which, if you would like to ever be a guest on the podcast, again, go to drunkpearpodcast.com. No, sorry, just drunkpear.com. Go down to the bottom, shoot us a message on who you are, why you want to be on the podcast, and we'll figure out a time and date that works for everybody. But it is kind of crazy to have that chapter come to a close, because it's like, it was perfect. Working from home, you know, being able to basically fuck off almost whenever we wanted. You know, having the leniency, you know, waking up not as early as we'd have to for like a commute, being able to wear whatever we want, being able to eat and drink whenever, whatever, and, you know, saving money from eating out, because like if you're working at an actual building and there's restaurants nearby, you're more tempted, as well as like for me, instead of having to take the dogs to daycare every day, so saving money on daycare, like there was just so many aspects that were really good about it, but at the same time, like, and I think this is going to be, I mean, I wouldn't say every customer service job, because you might have, like, let's say, you know, I start bartending again, I might have, like, you know, 20 customers, but I'm not sitting there talking to them and having them bitch at me for 30 minutes straight. So it's a different side of customer service, and so, like, sitting there, call after call after call after call, whether they're good or bad, is draining. It really is, mentally and physically, because it's like, you can only handle so much. But what I will say, what came out of this is I made a really good friend, and I'm very thankful for that, and we have a podcast. So, I mean, as much as some of the aspects, like, suck, there was good things that came with it as well.
Oh,
so,
it was a learning experience, because I always said, I can never fucking work in a call center. I cannot sit on my ass all day and talk to people on the phone. And then at first I'm like, this isn't that bad, and now I'm like, how the hell do people work here for 10, 20, 30 years? Like, because it's not even the same call every time. If it was like a program, or there were like 3 issues, oops, I just punched my mic, 3 issues that could have happened, but it's like, people
something new every day.
People losing their shit, people this and that and this. It could have been 5,000 different things a day, and some of them don't even have a solution in the same day. So it's like fucking exhausting. It's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, like, this isn't as big of a deal for me, but like for some people who, you know, may have our products in their personal lives, now at least they know what issues could occur and how to potentially fix them, or what steps they might need to go through in the future. So, you know, you wouldn't actually have to call in for help. You now just have those skills, I guess. And the other thing would be is, you know, it was a consistent income as long as we went in. It was a consistent income. And so you now know maybe like what you're worth. Cause like, I feel like what we were paid hourly really wasn't bad at all. Like compared to a lot of jobs that I've worked, like it's very comparable. Like it's pretty good, for what it was. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird.
It was fun working from home. I think if it was a different company and a different job title,
I think what would have been fine for me, and I would have powered through, is as soon as I got senior advisor title, the talking like with my leader was always, okay, where do you want to go next? And if I had gotten moved up sooner, because like, I mean, from when we were first hired to being senior advisors was pretty quick, in all honesty. And so like, if I had gotten moved up quick enough to, you know, some better title position, I probably could have powered through it. But knowing that, like, even when I moved, you know, I got points for moving, even though they were paid pre-scheduled time off, never got resolved. And so it was very discouraging seeing those points, because I knew that points were what held you back from being promoted. And so I think that, I don't know, I think that was kind of the most, like, the part that I'm just like, well, fuck it. Am I ever going to get these points taken off? Am I ever going to be able to finally get promoted? And, like, I did the math, and it'd be like a year for all those points to be gone.
I literally...
And it's... And it's like, if I have to wait that long, then I don't think I can wait a year at this same spot that I'm stuck in.
Here's earning points back in my notebook.
Jesus.
And
yeah.
That was March of this year. I had 9 points, which is hilarious. But even until then, I wouldn't have taken them off. I stopped at July, and I had 5.5 points still. And then it's like August, September, because they tell you it's 15 days. No, it's 15 worked days. So that's fucking 3 weeks. And then I didn't know it restarts if you get another one. It doesn't continue on that 15th day.
No.
That's bullshit. It's like so crappy. Like, I'm so fucking sorry that life happens. Like, half of those were anxiety. Another one was a pet died, and it was depressing. And then another one was a huge fight that I got in, and it upset me with someone. And then it was just like, do you want me to be crying on the phone or pissed off? Like, I don't know. The point system, I feel like a child.
The one thing I will say, as much as I hated working for the cell phone provider, one of the biggest things that they thrived on was, so we got 2 weeks paid vacation a year. We got a week of personal time. So, like, there's one day that I walked in, had a fight with a coworker, and I literally walked out, but got paid for that day. Got no points, no discipline against me. So I had a week of personal, and then I had a week of sick. So I had 4 paid weeks off a year. 2 for whenever I wanted, if I wanted to go on vacation. A week of basically, like, anxiety, and a week if I was actually sick. That was the best paid time off benefits that I have ever gotten, and that is the only good thing that came from that. Our company that we worked for had no mental health benefits at all. And even then, you had to go get a doctor's note, and in order to get no points and to not be penalized at all, you had to be off for 5 consecutive work days. So, yep.
Literally wanted to kill someone with the whole doctor's note. Like, I missed 3 or 4 days because I had like my skin condition where I'm like, what the hell is going on with my skin? I'm having a panic attack. It hurts. Like, I'm uncomfortable. And then they go, well, with the doctor's note, it wraps all those points into one. Why am I still getting a point when I'm clearly in pain and at the doctor? You still have to get punished no matter what.
Yep. Absolutely. And I mean, I think that their turnover rate is so high and they don't care. Like, I think that they quickly keep promoting people like they did with us because they continuously needed to fill those spots, whether those people were fired or quit. And I mean, it's not a great company to work for. It wasn't a great atmosphere. I mean, we talked about the benefits, but there was so many downsides to it that it's like, it's not worth it. To that, I'm going to drink.
I'll drink some water. Doing a water tonight.
So, I talked about the write-up with the lady and the complaint. You are up next.
Alright, let me see. I know I got a good one. Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's one thing that I truly hated, besides people just lying to get free shit, is the white people who think they are so fucking cultured because they travel all the time, and they're like in their 60s, 70s, and they do yoga, and they go to Tibet and all this shit all the time, and I'm just like, oh, you're so cool, aren't you? So this woman calls in, and she's like, my Facebook messages are in a different language. And I go,
Jesus.
Okay, well, I can't help you. Or, I didn't say that. I was basically like, well, let's see. Let me screen share, because you never know what the fuck they're actually talking about. She cuts me off, and she goes, I'm seeing Chinese, and I do not speak Chinese. And I'm like, okay. Well, where are you seeing Chinese? Like, are you on your phone, your computer? And she's like, well, I'm calling you from my phone, so I'm on my phone. And I'm like,
That doesn't mean you see the messages.
Right. I'm like, correct. So, do you want me to screen share on a phone or a computer? Will they show up on the computer? And I'm like, you know what?
Let's take a fucking look.
Screen share. Okay, so holy fuck. So then she starts. I get in and she goes, hold on, I was just about to finish this. She starts playing a YouTube video of like chanting. I don't know.
Who's that?
Chanting, like.
Oh,
like
what?
I know, like a weird tribe chanting, like people. It was a very strange video, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? So then she opens up her her message, and she's like, sorry, I had to watch that video because we're going to out of the country, and I need to see how their people are and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the? Where?
First of all, racist.
Right. They're
What
people.
the fuck?
And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So
Bye.
She finally brings up her Facebook messages. They are in a different language. What did she say? Oh, she goes, this is Mandarin. I don't know Mandarin. I know French and Tibetan and Spanish. And she just starts listing all of these languages that she can speak, and she's like, but I do not speak Mandarin, so I could not tell you why this is on here.
I'd be like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
I know. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just take a look. You know, it's probably in your settings. I don't fucking know how to change Facebook Messenger. That's not.
First of all, you should have been like, yeah. First of all, I've been like, sorry, we don't work with Facebook. Is your entire device in another language? Sure, I'll take a look at that. But it's just your messages. Fuck off. Call Facebook. They don't have a 1-800 number. Not my problem.
I know. Go to hell. You clearly changed it yourself. So we're going through her fucking messages, and she starts opening her messages, telling me who every single person is, what country
I don't care.
Then she's like, here's my friend from this place, and he does this, giving me their backstory. I was on the phone with this lady for 2 hours. I just let her talk.
Hell no.
At the last time. I'm like, I guess we'll just kill the time. Tell me about your stupid ass friends. Then she starts talking to me in all the languages that she knows. Swahili, all this shit. And I'm like, obviously, ma'am, I barely know how to speak English. I am always saying fake words. Like, I don't know how to speak Mandarin or what.
Okay, first of all, preach, because like dead ass, like half the time I'm like, I can't even think of the word that I'm trying to say, or I get in trouble for using the wrong words at the wrong times, or I like make up words. Like, yes, I'm fluent in English, but am I fluent well?
No.
Probably not.
I know, I'm always like, this is so, I'm like, okay, well, I just had a stroke, I guess, because I can't even say one word correct.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm like, dude, oh my god, you're so obnoxious. Like, whenever I used to work in a Japanese restaurant, people would come in, is this authentic and uni?
No.
And start ordering everything in Japanese, and I'm like, we are in Florida. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh my god.
But yeah, I hated it. And then finally she figured out how to select settings, language, specific language. Yeah. Or actually, I think we did go into her settings on her phone. And we went to the app section. Hold on, let me look.
I didn't even know that the settings had, like, I know you could go to, like, Facebook in settings, but I didn't know you could change the language in there. Also, how in the fuck did it get changed to that to begin with?
I know, I'm like, are you fucking okay, you stupid bitch? But it's like, a lot of people do that. Maybe it wasn't settings. Oh well, she figured it out somehow, and I was like, good for you, buddy. But people, do you ever get the call where people call and their phone is inverted through accessibility? Like
So we've already talked about this on the podcast.
Okay, how the fuck do people just accidentally do shit like that? When you have to go through multiple stages of the phone to even change it.
I will say that I've seen plenty of people who, like, legit, it's either in their pocket or in their purse or something, and it does accidentally get hit. Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy that it gets hit multiple times, but I have seen it. Okay. So I know it is legit.
These people are buck wild over here.
Okay, New York, calm down. Or Flavor Flav, sorry.
Flavor Flav. My mom loves
it.
But yeah, that was fucking annoying. I hate when, and then even when I worked at World Market, everyone would come in, oh, I had these when I went to Africa. I had these when I was in the UK. No one gives a fuck. Okay? No one, I haven't been there. I don't know. I eat this shit because it tastes good.
People are stupid. And also annoying.
It's all white people, I swear. So special.
Fuck. Here's one. I've got one for us. I wish I would have put more description in some of these stories because I don't exactly remember, but this one I do remember still. So a gentleman calls in and he was telling me how all of his products had viruses. I'm like, tell me why you think they have viruses. Long story short, they did not have viruses. He strictly needed to reset his password. Whether he reset it or his partner reset them or his brother reset them. Somebody reset them, and it wasn't him. He told me how he had this rare bone disease. So he was already not doing very well. But then his mom had MS and was in the hospital. And as he went to visit his mom, his brother used his devices to look at porn. And that's why he thought he had all these viruses. And I'm like, okay, well, why would it be on all of your devices then? He's like, well, because, they sync because they have the same login. I'm like, well, that's not how that works, but okay. And so I helped him, reset all of his passwords and, even his, login passwords and stuff so, his brother couldn't just get into them. Because I don't think his brother was smart enough to, go in the back end and, reset it like we would. So I'm like, well, if we reset your device password, then it doesn't matter. Which I don't know why your brother or partner would reset your login, your account password anyways. That doesn't even apply to this situation, but okay. But yeah, he was telling me way too much personal detail about his partner, too much personal detail about his diseases that he has, too many details about his brother and all the porn that he watches, and way too many details about, his mom. There's just, too much everything. And he was really offended because from what I gathered, I believe he was gay. Because when he did talk about his partner, he would say he. And so I'm like, okay, I don't care what your sexuality is. So, if you just say, my husband, and I know I'm talking to a dude, I don't care. But he would be like, my brother watches all of these naked girls on here, and I don't want to see that. It's like, well, no shit. That's not your cup of tea. But, also, I don't need details about what size boobs they have and that they're spread eagle. Right. Get out of here. Who says I want to hear that? What the fuck?
Why do people do that? Stop. What if...
I don't know. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your friend. Don't vent to me about that shit.
And I think what pisses me off the most when people do that is, what if you were super religious? Or, what if you really just felt very, very uncomfortable by that? And then the same thing goes when people talk to you about religion and God over the phone. I'm like, what if I was Jewish? What if I didn't believe in that stuff? That's so rude.
You know what kills me? So I've been scrolling on Instagram a lot. I've been trying to interact on Instagram. I want to post more and stuff. I came across a brand who I'd never bought from, but I followed because they have really cute pieces that they sell. They came out with some Pride stuff, and it looked really cute, very simple. It didn't scream Pride in your face. It was just very you could wear it no matter what month it is. You shouldn't have to. I mean, first of all, you should be able to wear whatever you want whenever you want, regardless. But it wasn't oh, it's Pride month, let's wear rainbow. It was just very cute and classic. And so I bought one of their shirts. I didn't want a sweatshirt or anything. And they had this good promo code, and 100% of the proceeds went to LGBT plus community. I don't know what one they were donating to, but I really liked the shirt, and so I bought it. And it was super affordable because they had a 30% off code, and the shirt was already reasonably priced. Long story short, they literally had posted like 2 minutes before like I scrolled it, and so like it was so newly posted that they didn't have like a bunch of likes and comments on it yet. The one comment that they had on there though was, "You guys are disgusting. How dare you put this out into the world? God does not approve. God didn't make you that way." So I went and I bought the shirt, and then I went and commented, and I go, "Ordered, love this shirt, love what you're supporting." And they like pinned my comment and liked it and like replied to it, and they deleted that bullshit off there. And I'm just like, why do people need to go out of their way to just be negative and disgusting? Like, who cares?
Right. It's like, I'm sorry, are any of those people's lives affecting yours personally? No.
No.
So who fucking cares? You're happy with who you're with. Let someone be happy with who they're with. Because you know what? That's when suicide comes in. That's when depression comes in. Because you're telling someone, because something that you're either uncomfortable with, you don't understand it, or you're so brainwashed you think that humans all are straight, that you're telling them that they do not have the right to be in love with someone like you are. Like, fuck off. That is so disgusting. I hate that.
Well, think about it this way, how hard it is for like a lot of people to even be in a relationship and find someone they get along with. So if someone, doesn't matter what their gender or sexuality is, if someone finds someone for themselves, all power to them, because a lot of people don't find anyone ever and they die alone. So if you at least have someone to spend your life with, whether it be for, you know, a few months or years, like, I think that's awesome. And even then, like, I'm glad that gay marriage is legal in all 50 states, because the way that I look at it, half the people either don't want to get married because they're so unhappy with their lives, or people get divorced. So why not let everybody be miserable and get divorced instead of only straight people? Like, that's the way I look at it. If two people want to get married, allow them to. Let them be miserable and get divorced. Or if they stay happily married forever, even better. But, you know, let's give everybody the right to be miserable. That's the way I look at it.
It's true, though. It's like, how the fuck was that illegal?
I don't know. Because people are just disgusting, and especially like the South are really set in their ways and the way that they think, and like it's they think of it as black and white instead of there being, you know, the gray areas that people fit into. Okay, so I just told Gay Brother Porn, you're up. Well, you can wrap us up, and then we'll cut it for the night. Okay. Just so our episodes aren't like 1,000,000 hours long.
Gay Brother Porn.
Well, that's what I have it marked down as, so I could like triggering things to help me remember.
Well, I guess I don't have a porn one. Oh, but I do have a sexual one.
Okay.
Of just people being creepers and relaying way too much information, so it is totally still on topic. But what I experienced was just another person calling in, talking about absolutely nothing. I think it honestly
sounds right.
Got a phishing text, email, whatever.
Okay.
Those are so hit or miss. They either are a 5-second call, or they want you to explain further, or then they just start talking. And it's like, well, how's your day going? That was a quick call. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Let me do that. Please. Who the fuck are you? Why are you calling in here? Okay. Oops. I keep punching my mic to me. I don't know if I've even asked you this before either. Have people asked you if we charge by the hour?
I've had people ask if we charge for the interaction, for like calling in or for like tech help, but never by the hour. We're also not a sex hotline. So
25.
I don't know who they're calling, but
yeah, I've had so many people tell me, and then I've only had one person tell me that they used to charge for help. And I'm like,
I'm going to say that's false. So what I will say is that I've always had this brand of products. And so back in the day when I was having problems, like years ago, honestly, they would tell me that because I was out of warranty and didn't have coverage through them, that they couldn't help me. It wasn't that they were charging me. Basically, they would offer, like, instead of, like, you know, accidental coverage, they would offer, like, a tech support package that you could purchase at any point in time. and then the tech support would help you for like a year or 2 years or however long. So back in the day, they used to they offered like a tech support package if you were out of warranty, but you could always opt out to not have help, but then you literally wouldn't get help. But I never paid for those.
Okay, because I was like, I feel like I would need to know how they go about that, so I didn't believe it. But I was like, okay, well, we don't charge, because like how they used to charge for the operating systems, like in the 2000s, where you had to buy, you can edit this out, I guess you had to buy like Mountain Lion and Snow Leopard and shit, and it was like $20.
You had to buy the Mac OS?
Yeah, up until
what the fuck?
Whatever the one underneath Mavericks is, like all the cat ones, you literally had to go to the store, buy it. It was $20, and then download it onto your computer through a CD-ROM. Like how fucking stupid.
I guess those did have disc readers.
Yes, I'm like, what the hell? And that's why a couple people who've been with this brand since the really horrible but awesome chunky colored computers, they were like, yeah, you have to pay for everything. I'm like, that's why we don't update.
No, I've had people say that like they didn't want to update because they couldn't get tech support. And so like now that they know like what the company has to offer, you have a device that's like fucking 10 years old, we'll still troubleshoot it with you. Then like they're like, oh my god, your customer service is so much better than it used to be. Well, yeah, it's just we became more lenient and more willing to help, I guess.
Which I wish, hindsight, when vintage and obsolete came in, that I literally laid down the law and was like, 15 minutes, sending you to the store, bye. Because I used to be like, oh, fuck it, I'll try to help them, and then I'd just dig myself a crater that I couldn't get out of. But, okay, so that guy just decides to start talking after our 2-minute interaction, and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be the end of the call. Nope. So he starts asking me where I'm from, how old am I, do I have any kids, do I have a boyfriend, do I have a husband, all this shit. And then, of course, as soon as you say no kids, and then I'm like almost 30, they're like, oh, you better get on that.
I hate that.
Why? Why do I have to have a kid when I'm still in my 20s? Leave me alone. I still got a couple more months. And then you go to 30, I'm like, I'm going to travel, you know? I want to do shit before I have to whip a titty out every 2 hours. But really, he's just like asking me all this stupid personal shit, and then goes to tell me, he's so loud and so obnoxious, I can't even get a word in. He starts telling me, oh, if I was younger, I'd ask for your number, but I'm old and I have ED. And I'm like,
oh my god.
Okay. I thought he'd change the subject after that. No. He starts telling me how ladies don't mind, the ladies don't care because he can help them in other ways, and like he's come to terms with it. He's just like sitting on his porch sipping coffee. I can hear the birds in the background, and I'm like,
Jesus,
dude, I don't want this to be my first fucking call. I know it was my first call. It was like 9 a.m. and he's just sitting there. It only started happening when I was older. I think it has to do with my blood pressure, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about your dick, dude. Stop it. But yeah, he's telling me if I was younger and I didn't have ED, I'd ask for your number, and I'm just like, well, if that were the case, you still wouldn't get it. So, goodbye. I hate you, sir. And stop telling strangers that you have erectile dysfunction.
But yeah, no, I've had plenty of, first of all, that's way too much TMI. Like, I've never had a customer do all that. But I've had plenty of customers that they're like, well, I'm just, just hanging out. And I can hear the porch. Like, I would assume they're on their porch because I can hear, like, the birds and stuff in the background. I'm just like, man, anything I would give right now to not be working. That would be cool.
Just sitting there enjoying their morning cig. And they're like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm working. How about you? You retired?
You know how great it would be if, and I've thought about this, like, how cool would this be? I would potentially still, like, willingly be there if this was the case. Like, if we could just throw on a Bluetooth headset, all the calls get rerouted to like our phone, our cell phones, and we don't have to like log anything. Like if we're, senior advisors, we already know the, XYZ, how to do like so much stuff. We didn't have to log anything. They get rerouted. So I'm laying out by the pool, just tanning, like, okay, go into your settings, click your name at the top. Yep. You see password and security? Cool. Go ahead and click change password. I want you to go ahead and recreate it. Oh, it's asking for your passcode. Go ahead and enter in your 6-digit passcode. Cool. Yep, and now it's allowing you to change your password. Go ahead and type in the same password twice. Has to be 8 characters long with a capital letter and a number. Yep, go ahead. Perfect. Like, how great would that be? I would for sure. Then, if I can literally, like, do, or even doing the dishes, like, how great would that be?
Right. Like, why do we have to be sitting at a fucking screen? Honestly, half of this shit could be done online. You enter in your serial number, you make an appointment. You enter in your serial number, you see what's covered, you see what's not. You want express replacement? Select it.
No.
Put in your shit.
No, what would be great is if people would actually go online and if we offered a system where it's like, what problem are you having? Password. Okay, have you tried doing this? Just like, remember back in training where it's like, have you checked this email setting? And then it would take you down to a next drop down. Have you done this?
Yeah,
and then it would keep...
guide.
I wish they would do that for customers because, like, think about how much easier that would be. And, like, only people who are really dumb, lazy, or whatever, like, the drop downs aren't, like, helping them, then they call in. But, I mean, also, all the times that we've told customers just to Google something and they refuse to, I mean...
It drives me nuts. Just fucking Google it. We're Googling it half the time.
I know. Oh, no. As of Monday, Google was prohibited.
Shut up.
It was a prohibited website. Yep. It was a prohibited website by the company. I don't know which company, but one of the 2 companies made it a prohibited website.
Oh, I love it. I love that so much. Yeah, before I left, Patience told me she had stuff to go over with me because there were being changes on Monday, or changes being made on Monday, and something about like a management app that they added to everyone's computer.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, she's like, it helps manage your callbacks and the other things. And I was like...
Oh, I do know what it's not a program, it's just a website. And it also helped track RTAs and crews. So.
But, don't have to worry about that bullshit again.
No shit.
All those fucking idiots. I don't even know if I sent the products correctly to people, but I honestly don't give a shit.
Okay. We've been rambling. All this will be cut out. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you have not checked out all of our social media, please do so. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, TikTok. Am I forgetting anything?
Stitcher.
No, not podcast services. Social media. I think that's it, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, TikTok. I think that's it. And then all of our episodes have video on YouTube. Otherwise, you can stream us at Stitcher. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Audible, Amazon. I think that's it. And then, of course, if you want a condensed version, just go to drunkpear.com where everything will be linked. There's our merch, drunkpearpodcast.com. Again, and then I may spontaneously decide to make a new merch and throw it up there without you guys knowing. Be a little spontaneous. So go check out our Instagram. That's where a lot of our stuff is going to be every time we come out with new merch, as well as any potential discount codes, as well as me and Annie looking cute, which we do have some new posts on there. So go check us out. But also, if you don't want to have your phone or your tablet or computer or smart TV only streaming and you want to see our beautiful faces, go to YouTube, subscribe, comment, of course, drunkpear.com. Go and submit your stories, as well as if you want to be a guest on our show. Send us your why we should have you on there, which more than likely, we're not going to have very high expectations for anybody. I mean, if you've listened to our podcast, you know we're willing to basically have anyone on. We ramble and bullshit as is, so join the podcast. We do have one guest that's coming for sure, potentially in our next episode. If not, it'll be the one after that, because if we go tomorrow or Sunday. I think it'll be Monday-ish. As well as we potentially may collab with another podcast. It'll be 4 redneck dudes from Iowa. That would be yeah. That would be very interesting. It'd be kind of a shit show, but I'm kind of curious. Like, let's do it. So yeah, as well as all your stories, post it on any social media, as well as our website. Just tell us your stories. We want to do a full-on our listener stories, but without you guys submitting those stories, we can't give you that episode. So we are, as of today, after this episode, 5 episodes behind, which we sincerely apologize for, aka I apologize for, because I feel like I dropped the ball more than you did, because you're willing to record and I'm just behind. But yeah. But yeah, check us out. We're not going anywhere just because we're changing chapters in our life. These are about customer stories. Yes, Drunk Pear's name originated because of where we were employed, but that doesn't change what we do or what we talk about. So no matter what, we're still going to do what we enjoy. As long as both of us enjoy this, we will both be here telling our bullshit no matter where we're working. We're always going to deal with customers.
And we've got about a year of stories under our belt from this job and past jobs and future jobs, because I can guarantee pretty soon I'm going to be getting yelled out about ranch again, and I can't wait. 99 cents for a side salad? You bet your ass it is.
Yep.
But yeah, for real, everybody, I know, like, maybe if I come to your house and scare you, you'll submit a story. I'll do a drive-by. I'll throw eggs at your house, in your car. I know where everybody
No, throw
is.
pears.
Yeah.
Throw pears at their house.
I'll throw pears. I'm going to throw a pear through a window with a note on it.
Oh.
Submit a story or else.
Oh, God. Yeah, and it doesn't matter where you guys are. As you can see, we both record remotely. Like, we're not in the same city or building. So, like, we are open to stories from anywhere across the U.S. or world, for that matter. If you're listening internationally, welcome. But also, like, if you want to guest on our podcast, like, obviously we're going to do it remotely. So we're open to kind of everything within reason. Obviously, we will discuss things prior to the episode, but we would love to work with people. We would love to hear your stories. If you're too shy to be on camera or tell your story verbally, submit it, type it, or voice text it and have Siri fuck it up and then auto change it and submit it to us.
For real, leave me a voicemail. Leave Megan a voicemail. We'll
Yeah.
play it.
Yep.
We'll play it like.
The episode that I'm currently editing right now is when I showed you that TikTok of that guy's like, gas!
Huh?
Biden! Biden! So hopefully we don't get copyrighted for that TikTok, which I kind of feel like I should reach out to that individual almost. But honestly, shoving the phone up into the mic, it worked fine. I was really shocked. So, yeah.
I'm literally crying laughing from thinking of that TikTok again. Oh, it's such a good one. Fuck. Alright.
Yep.
Woo! Yeah, but seriously, guys, thanks for still listening. If you only knew how much we rambled about absolutely nothing, you would be scared, but I'm glad you still listen to what is left in and that you enjoy our stories, because we enjoy doing this.
Or, I mean, if you ever want to leave us feedback on any of our social medias or email or website or anything, feel free to be like, hey, you're rambling too much. I wish you'd stay on topic. Will we stay on topic? Probably not. But, you know, you can submit it. We'll read it and laugh about it and be like, this person said we should stay on topic, as if that's ever going to happen.
We'll try. We'll try.
We'll try. 5 minutes later, off topic again.
I know, we're like, let's end it. We're like, let's just keep talking for another 3 hours.
Yeah. But, okay. So that's it for tonight's episode, guys. If you have not followed us or subscribed on whatever platform you do listen to us on, go follow us and subscribe and like the episodes, as well as for anyone with an Apple device, whether it be a Mac, iMac, I don't know if Apple TVs can do this or not, phones, iPads, iPods, go and rate us 5 stars. Honestly, I don't even care if you listen on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to Spotify, that's what I prefer, but go to Apple Podcasts and rate us 5 stars just to help try to boost us so then that way we would get recommended to more people. Otherwise, yeah, Spotify is probably the best. I recommend Spotify. But if you don't use Spotify, that's okay. I'm not going to shame you.
We love you. Don't worry. Just listen to us. That's all we care about.
Yeah. We got 12 ratings of 5 stars on Apple right now. So, I mean, that's not terrible.
Damn, for real?
Mm-hmm. Let's see how many. Oh, it doesn't tell me how many monthly listeners we have on Spotify. Dang. But, yeah. Check us out wherever you listen. Rate us, like us, all the fun jazz. But that's all we've got for tonight's episode. Again, this is Megan checking out.
And this is Annie saying, later, dudes.
Bye.
Bye.